wood patch. Hey guys, another day here. This morning I have a few hours, so I'm gonna take off this top and then I'm gonna get down underneath and take off all the bolts for the body that attach it to the frame and just try to pull that off. I got a buddy coming over later, so he should be able to pick it up with me. I don't think it's that light, but it shouldn't be too heavy either. Had her all covered up. Engine's still looking good. Might take some more steps to get her started today, but it's coming out anyway, so might as well do it while it's out of here, so we'll see what happens. Probably gonna check the fluids as well. Haven't really run around through that, but just open up all the differentials and probably the oil pan, see if there's any water in there, anything scary. So yeah, here we go. So as you guys can see in here, there's all these screws kind of going around the corner. Those should be pretty easy to get out because they're not rusted out and not because they're on the inside. So turns out I completely lied. These are totally screwed up. Basically when you put the screwdriver or anything in there, it just strips immediately. So got a pretty good sharp wood chisel, hammer. We're just gonna bang all the heads off. There's not too many, so it shouldn't take too long. So, as any of you guys know who have worked on old cars and stuff, usually 90% of the time, a job that should take 5 minutes turns into one that takes an hour because all the bolts are rusted or something along those lines. So I'm seriously hitting this thing so freaking hard. Definitely not gonna have any hearing left at the end of this, but at least the top will be off, right? Here we basically just decided that we were just going to cut a lot of the mounts off. We have the tools to make the mounts if we want to put the top back on, but we really like the look of these without the top, and we'll be getting a new windshield anyways. So this was the plan of attack for now. It didn't take too much longer after I had all those screws out, and here she goes off into the side of the yard to live for a few years. So we're just really trying to tie up a lot of loose ends here and take off a bunch of stuff that we don't need, such as this Bondo and then like the wood in the fender well that I showed you guys in the last video. And a lot of this is proving to be a lot more difficult than it should be, so we're going to keep you updated on that. Alrighty, so here we are with the top off. It took a lot of work. There's a lot of parts that, like these little pillars right here, those panels that I was talking about before, just right there, where like the C-pillar would be, just had this bar behind them. Those panels wouldn't come off, and there's a nut and a bolt on this side, so we said, you know what, we're not gonna have a top anyways, so let's just chop it right off. Took off a little bit of this Bondo. It's just a problem for another time. There's really no point in doing all that stuff right now. Cut this side again. Had to chisel a bunch of screws off. Worked out pretty well. Did what we could for the other ones, but everything was just stripping basically immediately as soon as the screwdriver got even within a few inches of it. We're thinking about just getting it running before pulling the body off, but seriously, that top over there, it probably weighed like 100 pounds. We slid it a little bit. It wasn't too light, but it wasn't too heavy, so I have a feeling that the body's going to be the same way, but we got a long time before that. Because all the brakes are locked up, we want to get those fixed. I'll take you guys over to the spare parts in a second inside, but the guy gave us just a bunch of new brake shoes with the Jeep, so we're going to have to get to work on that. But overall, just with the top off and the sun in here, this tub looks pretty decent. I'm sure there's a little bit of rust bubbling coming up through here and stuff like that, but overall, that can 100% be saved. These floors, on the other hand, are not in the same boat. We're probably just going to cut out these whole floor panels, make new panels, and then weld them in over here. So yeah, for today we did all that. We got some penetrating oil on the lugs because they were all seized up, and I'll get those off in a sec. Probably change some brake shoes and see what we can get going. Just inside really quick, we have these 2 huge bins of spare parts. Got new shocks, might just take off the old ones and leave those for now. All the brake shoes, all that good stuff. And here's the shop. This is where the magic happens. Got pretty much anything you need to make anything you want. Got TIG, MIG, plasma cutter. Here's the welding bench right here. The grinding station. There's a metal bandsaw, sander, all the power tools. This thing's just such a mess right now because of all the stuff that we have from getting this Jeep home. But here's the carburetor. This is gonna be fun to figure out. Hopefully a few YouTube videos will help me out with this. Got the lathe over here and a whole lot else that we're not gonna go into. Here in the shop, here's the CJ. I wish this DJ looked somewhat similar to this right now, but give it some time and we'll be there. This thing's pretty sweet. It's got the 4-liter i6. Just threw a winch on, custom built this entire bumper. We'll get into depth on this a little bit later, but for now, we got the top off. She's looking a lot better, that's for sure. Really did not like the look of that male top, but yeah. I decided to put the fenders on and just rest the grill in there and rest the hood on top, just to get a more complete look of the car for now. We will be getting a new windshield for it because that one's pretty shot over there and it doesn't follow the body lines as nicely as we would like it to. Sprayed some penetrating oil on all the lug nuts, so hopefully those brakes can come unstuck with a lot of fingernails being ripped off by brake shoes and such. But for now, we're actually gonna go put some chrome bumpers on this big girl over here. So thank you guys so much again for watching this video. Here's a quick little edit that I made, and this is what we're gonna wrap it up with. This thing has been a lot of fun already, and I'm really excited to see where it goes, and I hope that you guys are just as excited as I am to follow along with the journey. So thank you, everybody.